Coach J Pops. Guys, we're back. We're back. Guys, 1 second. Let me do something here. There we go. There we go. All right. Try to get that little camera angle to the best of my ability there. All right. So guys, we're back. We are back, baby. Yes, guys. What are we talking about on this episode of the Homemade Podcast of Sports? Well, what happened? What happened with the Mississippi State Bulldogs versus those A&M Aggies, right? Aggies out there on the road. First and foremost, Aggies got out there. The Aggies completely took care of business, right? I don't care about how the way they got it done. I don't care about how the game looked. As long as you got out of Starkville with a victory, that's all of us are worried about, right? Number one, you hadn't won down there in freaking forever, felt like. And if I'm not mistaken, you hadn't won down there since 2020. Guys, that's 4 years ago. What they did do, though, is put up more points than what they did in 2020. A&M walks out of there with a 34-24 victory. Now, am I feeling good about that victory? Yeah, I am. Does Texas A&M need to clean up a couple of things going forward? Yes, they do. They do, guys. They need to clean up some things going forward. Number one, they need to clean up the penalties. I said that going into the game that A&M needs to work on the penalties. They need to clean that up, right? They do need to clean it up. Also, we need to clean up getting ready for quick offenses, right? And I will forever say this here too. If A&M can sneak out and get to 10 points early, quick in a ball game, A&M is going to continue to win a lot of ball games, probably in dominant blowout fashion in which they didn't have no blowout game here, but they won by 10. For them to go on the road again and win the second consecutive road game by 10, that says a lot. That says a whole lot, right? They played against Florida. Everybody wants to say Florida was a bad team. Florida was the second game of the season. I understand that point. The third game of the season. Trust me, guys, I get it. I understand. However, they still went to the swamp when the swamp was sold the freak out. Okay? It was sold out. Then they packed up their things, went to Jerry World, in which we own Jerry World, by the way. But not only that, they won against a legit Arkansas team that have a legit offense. But they came back and they went on the road again against Mississippi State, in which now we're all finding out around the SEC. That freshman quarterback of theirs, he is going to be a problem. Going forward, for the years to come, that quarterback is going to be a problem. All right? That kid was damn good. He put up 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's it. But had over, I think, 200 and some total yards passing. Right? At the end of the day, Mississippi State ran a ball on us and got over 100 yards. Nobody has done that since Florida. I'm going to say that once again for the people in the back. Nobody has done that, I think, since Florida. That's it. No, not Florida. Nobody has done that since Bowling Green, I think. Nobody has ran for over 100. But they did. So props out to Mississippi State for making it hard. The cowbells were swinging, right? You heard it. I heard it. All in all, that was a good game. A lot of people want to take away from that game that Connor almost threw 3 interceptions. Yes, guys, I get it. Yeah, he did almost throw 3 interceptions. He threw 4 interceptions. I'm sorry, but he only threw 2. A lot of people are going to downplay the fact that Connor went over to Starkville and he won by 10. Connor still walked out of there with a 10-point victory, and not only that, with completing 9 of 15 third downs. From my understanding, it looked like Connor Wigman in that offense was waiting to go to third down so they can go ahead and just go crazy with it. Mississippi State, at the end of the day, I think 5 of 16. That's it. So the defense did play its part. The defense man up. All right. So let's go in here and let's just look at the final go around, in which is some stats here, by the way, right? So, like I say, man, Connor, look, ever since Connor has came back, Connor has been damn good on his completion percentage, right? Look, despite the interceptions that he threw, Connor has been damn good completing passes, man. He has been damn good. And I threw this stat out there on yesterday, and if I'm not mistaken, I hate it because then I have to go back and read. I don't actually all vividly remember what I put out there, and it's not going to come to mind. But Connor has missed probably about 12 throws. I think about 12 to 15 throws, and that's it. That's completely it. Other than that, he has been on point with almost everything that he's thrown so far. However, third down percentage, ever since Connor has been back, Connor has absolutely took third down percentage to like 80-some%. That means something. That means a whole lot. That means, number one, Connor is letting the game come to him finally, right? And number two is that Connor is starting to look like that old Connor, man. So Connor in this game was 15 to 25. And before anybody comes on here and say, yeah, but talk about, what happened. Well, talk about his overall, which I think to end the game, he was like, I think like a 43 percentile or something like that QBR rating. In this here, from my understanding, looking at this QBR, Connor was like 67.2, which isn't good by all means. Look, I get it. It wasn't good. However, his average for yards was 8.7. 15 to 25, 217 yards, 8.7 average, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. One of those interceptions wasn't on him, by the way, right? But Connor will every bit of take that hey, he screwed up a couple of times in this game. And I get it. However, this is Connor's first road victory. So damn, a round of applause for that at least. Damn, congrats to Connor Wigman for going on the road and getting his first road victory. Yeah, it came against Mississippi State, but we were 2-4 in that damn stadium. 2-4. Think about what I just said there. 2-4 over there. Now we're 3-4, right? And we're going to keep on, and we're going to see if we can continue to trend. Truth be told, it was no reason that we should have been losing to Mississippi State from the get-go. Just to throw that out there, man. Yeah, I'll say it. We shouldn't have been losing to Mississippi State from the get-go, but because of coaching, in which it was bad coaching when it got up to these games against Mississippi State for some odd reason, we just totally forgot how to coach, right? So let's keep on going, man. Le'Veon Moss was finally held under 100 yards in this game. Le'Veon Moss, game after game after game, has been able to eclipse 100 yards per game, right? In at least one touchdown. However, Le'Veon Moss in this game, 17 carries, 65 yards, 3.8 average, 2 touchdowns. Understand this about Colin Klein's offense, and this is what I need a lot of you guys to wake up on. Colin Klein is going to run a balanced offense, and he's going to use both, right? Understand this about Colin Klein, though. Once he gets up to the red zone, he has been absolutely phenomenal with that. And if I'm not mistaken, Texas A&M right now has the top 5 red zone offense, which is completely insane from where we were a year ago. I'm going to say this once again because it's the little details that counts. Texas A&M red zone offense as of right now, they're number 2 in the SEC behind a team that's been absolutely phenomenal as well. They're number 2 in the red zone offensively behind Vanderbilt. And that's wild to say. But I'm gonna say it once again. Texas A&M is number 2 in the SEC behind Vanderbilt in red zone offense. They are number 8 nationally in red zone offense. That's insane. Red zone scores so far 26, 8 passing touchdowns, three field goals, 15 rushing touchdowns. In this game alone, Texas A&M put up 3 rushing touchdowns, and they all came within the red zone. I love that, man. I love this formula. What Colin Klein is specifying to that offensive unit is this here. Go and get yards. Go and get yards and get up to the 10, the 20, which is the red zone line, of course, and I'll take care of the rest. Le'Veon Moss, though, Le'Veon Moss is balling, right? He is balling. When it gets up to that red zone, Le'Veon Moss has been unstoppable all season long. Understand what I'm telling you. If Connor Wiggins would have not thrown those 2 interceptions in that Notre Dame game, we will be looking at an undefeated Texas A&M team. And that is hands down. If Connor Wiggins I'm going to stick to what I said. If Connor wouldn't have threw those 2 interceptions in that ball game, we would have been looking at an undefeated Texas A&M team right now. Do you not know how insane that is? That's insane. Because this team right now is looking like the better version of themselves. They're looking like the whole better version of themselves, and they're looking like they absolutely know who they are, where they want to be, what style of offense they want to run, and what style of defense they're going to run, right? In which I haven't even much gotten to the defense yet, right? So let's go ahead and go to receiver. Jabri Barber has finally found himself. He had a monster game. 6 receptions, 92 yards, 15.3 average, 0 touchdowns, 58 reception. Well, a 58-yard reception, which is the longest reception that he had in this game. Noah Thomas is still coming into that form of being the guy. But what I love about what Connor is doing right now, right? And this is all shout out to Colin Klein as well. They're making people cover who they think is going to be the playmaker in the game, in which you don't know if Noah is going to come out one game and be a decoy, or if he's going to come out and be that guy that's going to take over the game. Jabri Barber, this here shocked me because I was not expecting Jabri Barber to get 6 receptions for 92 yards at all. I expected Noah to do all of the work in this game, period. And if you guys came on the last podcast, you guys heard me say that. I expected Noah to do all the work. Just as well as you guys probably did as well. I expected Noah to be the dog in this game. And he wasn't, right? It was all Barber. Barber was the dog in this game. I think Cyrus Allen will be the dog in the next game. I honestly do. If I'm looking at stuff correctly, I think Connor has that shot and has his chance to have 2 wide receivers go over 100 yards in the next game. He can honestly do that. And I hope Connor comes out and have that 300-yard game performance in which we're all waiting on. Do it on the biggest stage of them all, right? Because that's going to be one of your biggest stages on this Saturday versus LSU, in which is the blackout game. I'm curious to see how those uniforms are going to look on Thursday. But that's going to be the annual blackout. And then on the next following week, in which you can't look ahead, right? But on the next following week, you go on the road and you're going to be in front of 100,000 people again in South Carolina, right? These are 2 tough tests up ahead until you get to your second bye week, and which is crazy to me. We got 2 bye weeks. But you're going to get up to your second bye week. But before you got there, you were able to find targets in which I love, man. He threw it to Le'Veon Moss out the backfield, which looked damn good. He threw it to Amari Daniels for 1 reception out the backfield, which looked damn good. EJ Smith caught a pass for 5 yards. So these are the number of people. Connor Whitman threw it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different receivers. Think about that, man. Think about that. That's darn good, which means he's seen the field. He has seen the field. Once again, despite the interceptions that he threw, right? In which was some bad interceptions, by the way, I will say that. He still saw the field. So Mississippi State scoring, right, was in the first quarter they got 7. The second quarter they got 10. Third quarter was absolutely 0. Fourth quarter was 7. That was it. After the first half, Mississippi State really and truly was completely shut down. They were shut down. But in the end, they ended up getting 7, and A&M only got 3 in the fourth quarter. I have been thinking about this before the podcast started. So, ever since Connor has been back from his injury, the offense has scored 41 points in one game, 34 points, and 34 points in another, which is on the road. 41 points at home, 34 points on the road. Do you not know that he has the most points scored since he's been back? He has centered that offense to score the most points in any 2 games of the season so far. And I'm going to say that once again for the ones that did not know this, right? In which I did sit up and I done my research, right? And no, that's a lie, because I'm talking about the most points scored. No, that's a lie. So Connor has the most points scored against SEC teams. Put it that way. Not during the entire season, but against SEC teams, because McNeese, they scored 52. So at Florida, in where Reed made his start, he got the offense to score 33 points. Against Bowling Green the next week, the offense scored 26, and then against Arkansas, they scored 21. Connor against both SEC competition teams, he scored 41 and then 34. Just know that does make a difference, whether you guys want to think about that or not. That makes a huge, huge difference into where this team can actually go with both quarterbacks, right? And don't get me wrong, I think we could have went very far with Reed being that quarterback. But I think Connor gives us the highest ceilings of the ceilings, which is we already lost one game. Connor gives us that ceiling to go 11-1. And we're talking about throughout the regular season. I'm going to say it once again. Connor gives us that ceiling to go 11-1 going forward. I trust Connor more, although he has a loss on his resume. I trust Connor more in decision making, right? Although he's only got 3 touchdowns on the season, 4 interceptions. I get it. I trust Connor just a little bit more than Reed, right? But do we have a quarterback controversy by all means? No, we do not. All right. But let's keep on going, man. This defense. The defense played lights out. I think Terrion York has finally found his groove. He had 12 tackles in this game. 3 solo, half sack, 1.5 tackle for loss. Dalton Brooks. I feel like Dalton Brooks is one of the fastest guys on that defense. And I know I'm not going crazy, but he's one of the fastest guys on that defense out there. Right? He had about 9 tackles, 3 solo. Damian Sanford. Look, the linebacking crew, please stand up. They had an exceptional game on last weekend. All of these guys made plays. Damian Sanford, he had about 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. 2 passes defended. Will Lee had about 6 tackles, right? 0 passes defended. He let 1 touchdown throw get behind him. That was it. Shamar Turner, about 6. Shamar had a game. Shamar had a damn good game in this game. Shamar Turner went off in this game. Shamar had about 6 tackles, 2 solo, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. That was the Shamar Turner that we've been waiting to see all season. Scooby Williams absolutely had himself a field day. 6 tackles, 2 solos, 2 tackles for loss, 1 pass defended. I feel like Scooby has a whole lot more in him that he's bringing out slowly but for sure, right? Albert Regis had himself a game. 5 total tackles, 1 solo, half sack, 1 pass defended. And that was the guy that jumped up in the air, swatted the ball down, right? He done that, man. He done that. BJ Mays looked damn good in this game. He had 1 pass defended, 4 total tackles, 1 solo. Marcus Ratcliffe, that guy is going to be darn good. That's a guy that I'm looking at in that LSU game as opposing to Will Lee. The next guy that I'm looking at in that LSU game as well, in which he had a good game, is Dez Ricks. I just feel like Dez Ricks is the sleeper guy on this defensive back unit. He's the sleeper. He's a sleeper. I think he's going to have a good game. Next game, I expect a lot of those guys to go after Dez Ricks because he's from the state of Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken. If he's not from the state of Louisiana, then he's from Alabama for sure. But I believe he's from Louisiana. A lot of those guys are going to come for him. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Eli Ricks is from Louisiana, so I know I'm not going crazy there. But Dez Ricks, he's going to have himself a game, right? And he had himself a good little game here, right? So Marcus Ratcliffe, he had a good one. Cassius Howard is a guy that's starting to just jump out game by game by game. He had three total tackles, 1 solo, 1 tackle for loss. 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack, 3 passes defended. Cassius Howard had 3 passes defended, people. That's dangerous for a defensive lineman. That means number one, the defensive line was in the quarterback's face all night long. Nick Scorden is going to do what he can do, right? He had 2 tackles. We had two total tackles, 1 solo, 1 tackle for loss. Dez Ricks, 2 tackles. Rylan Kennedy was all over the place as well. He had about 2 tackles, a half sack, and a half tackle for a loss. DJ Hicks, in which I always miss when DJ Hicks makes a damn tackle. He had about 2 tackles in this game. DJ Hicks, he's getting there. That's all I'm saying is that he's getting there. Let him keep going. All right. Shamar Stewart had about 1 tackle for loss, but he created a lot of pressure. Miles Davis was pretty good, and Bryce Anderson had a half tackle for a loss. I think I seen where a lot of people were saying that Bryce just doesn't look good in this defense, or he's just not fitting in this defense. All I'm going to say is that let the season play out. Let it continuously play out, because Bryce Anderson, you can't get mad if they're not throwing the ball downfield his way. They're just not throwing it to him. And Jay Bateman isn't going to call a lot of strong safety or safety blitzes, in which I respect, by the way, because he wants his linebackers and his defensive linemen to do the dirty work, in which it's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Let them go out there. Let them show you what they have. They're an elite defensive line so far as the talent is concerned. Anyways, let those guys go out and wreak havoc on their opponents. It's nothing wrong with it. Interception, Scooby Williams was the only one to get an interception in this game. Randy Bond was 2 for 2. His longest was 44 yards. Shout out to Randy Boons, man. He's been that good. Tyler White with 2 punts for 85 yards, 42.5 average. That's good. That's darn good. That is darn good. All right, so Mississippi State Bulldogs, by the way. Let's go ahead and talk about them, right? Let's talk about what they contributed, and stuff like that. So, Michael Van Buren Jr., 22 of 41, 242 yards, 5.9 average, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception with a 74.1 QBR. That, we have to get that down. We have to lower that down. Yes, I understand he was throwing the ball everywhere, mainly because A&M came out the second half and just completely took away the run game. They did. But that young man is going to be a force to be reckoned with as the years goes along. Us A&M fans, we know all about Mississippi State quarterbacks. Why? Because they've had a shitload of them come through there and just beat A&M for whatever reason. Like, that was just the game for them. I don't know why. I think they're mad at us because we wear maroon. And I have no clue of what their color is, but it's not maroon. They've already let that be known. But I honestly think it's because of the colors. Mississippi State has been in the SEC for the longest, so they feel like they should be the guys to stand up for those colors. We get it. We totally get it. Yeah, then again, it has something to do with the state of Texas. We know it. I think I heard somebody one year talking about A&M is nothing but Auburn or Mississippi State with a lot of oil in it. I'm here to tell you guys, but that ain't true. As of right now, for the last 10 years or since 2012, rather, Texas A&M is like number 3 in the SEC so far as wins and losses are concerned. Regardless if you guys want to believe that or not, or you can say, well, yeah, y'all are, but y'all ain't been that good. That's fine. Mississippi State is number 3, I can tell you that much. So it is what it is on that, right? So running back Dalvin Booth, he had himself a day. 12 carries, 79 yards, 0 touchdowns. This team absolutely does not give up rushing touchdowns like that. Matter of fact, they haven't given up rushing touchdowns like that, I want to say probably since it's not even Bowling Green, I don't think, man. Probably since McNeese, I want to say. I think McNeese. And then again, McNeese probably threw the damn ball. But they haven't. I don't think they have given up a rushing touchdown since Bowling Green. I think I'll have to check that and see. Janee Daniels, he had about 13 carries for about 50 yards, 3.8 average with 0 touchdowns. Michael Van Buren, he had about 9 carries for -1 yard. We absolutely shut the quarterback down. Right? And you need that from your defense going forward, man. You absolutely need that. Kelvin Coleman Jr., this was the guy that I told you guys to watch out for when I made that last podcast. I say, man, you have to watch out for this young man because this young man can absolutely stretch your field. Kevin Coleman Jr., which was number 3, by the way, he had about 8 receptions, 89 yards, 11.1 average, 1 touchdown, 38, with the 38-yard reception being the longest one of the game for him. Kelly Akira, which was number 1, he had about 3 receptions, 45 yards, 15-yard average. Mario Carver, which was the young man that got hurt, by the way, 5 receptions, 42 yards, 8.4 average, 1 touchdown. That was the touchdown in where, if I'm not mistaken, he caught that pass and Will Lee was covering him, and Will Lee just absolutely lost him in coverage. All right, we'll just go ahead and flat out say that. He lost him in coverage in the back of the end zone, and it is what it is, and which Mario Carver is a freshman, by the way. So I will say this: I respect Jeff Levy as an offense coordinator. We'll see what he can do as a head coach going forward, right? But offensively, Jeff Levy is going to cause some issues. He is going to cause some issues in this conference. I know he is. From my understanding, Texas A&M will have to play Mississippi State every freaking year. That will not change at all, from my understanding. So, regardless to what coach they bring in there, we're going to have to see that guy, right? And that's fine. But we're going to have to see That offense, every year, nowhere near like Mike Leach's, right? I can tell you that right now. Nowhere near like Mike Leach. But it's a hurry-up offense. It's a very fast tempo offense. What we did see in this game is halftime adjustments, but we did see Elko have we did see that Elko had a very big problem with up-tempo offense, or with tempo offense rather. It's an issue. It is an issue. I think it's an issue that still plagues him defensively, right? But it's not an issue to where it's bigger than what I'm saying. That I believe they can adjust and they can fix. Why? Because they do have the defensive players to keep up with these guys up tempo wise. It's just how they start the game. Texas A&M defense solely depends on how the way they start the game and also finish it too, right? But how the way they start is going to dictate a lot of things, in which their offense is going to dictate a lot of what their defense is going to do as well, because although it was a top ball game at 7-7 in the first quarter, A&M came out the second quarter and just hung 14 on them like it was nothing, right? They absolutely hung 14, and at one point you were staring at a 21-10 ball game, and in which it could have been a couple of more points for if the guys would have made a couple of interceptions. I'm talking about on A&M side, right? So you do got to understand that. So Isaac Smith from Mississippi State defense, he had about 12 total tackles, 5 solos, 0 sacks. Nobody had any sacks from Mississippi State, by the way. Nobody, and I mean nobody. What does that mean? That means your offensive line has gotten better and better and better and better, and that's all credit to Adam Cushion. Adam Cushion, my guy, if you're listening, you have been a deal breaker and you have been a lifesaver for this Texas A&M team. The two things that Texas A&M was missing under Jimbo Fisher was, number one, a durable quarterback. Number two, a durable offensive line. Because good God, that offensive line was horrific under that guy except 1 year. 1 year. And even in that first year with Kellen Mond, where he went 9-4, that offensive line was not good at all. They were not. Say this once again. Jimbo only had 1 good year where he had good offensive line play. Mike Elko comes in. This team has not given up sacks for nothing in the world like that, like how the way they used to. As of right now, Texas A&M is only giving up, I think, about 7 sacks, I want to say maybe, through 7 games. That's it. That's absolutely it, man. If I'm not mistaken, it's only been about 7. Maybe 9, but I think it's only been about 7, man. And that is it. All right, so Nick Mitchell had about 10 tackles, 2 solos, 1 pass defended. Brandon Jennings, which is a linebacker, by the way, and that guy there is going to be a dog going forward, too, from Mississippi State. He had about 8 solos, half tackle for loss. Stone Blanton is another good one. Stone Blanton is going to be very good for Mississippi State. If these guys don't go into the transfer portal next year, that's going to be a decent Mississippi State team coming back for Jeff Levy on both sides of that football. On both sides of that team, they're going to be pretty good, and they turn around, they come to A&M next year. So I expect Mississippi State to be way better than what they are this year, right? Next year, they're going to be way better. Not saying that they're going to win the conference or anything by all means. But Mississippi State, when they meet up with us next year, they should have a winning record by then. And that I can honestly put out some facts on, right? And once again, Jeff Levy is going to be very good in this conference offensively because he's going to confuse a lot of people with that offense. And with this certain quarterback that he has, that guy is going to light up some defenses going forward, man. I honestly think that. I think as the season goes along, Mississippi State gets better. They're going to sneak up and they're going to surprise somebody. I don't know who it is yet, but they are going to do their thing, right? So let's go to some other team stats here. So team stats. Texas A&M had about 354 yards, 354 total yards, 2 turnovers. Mississippi State had 367 yards, 1 turnover, 22 first downs. A&M had 17 first downs. What's crazy is that A&M on time of possession by exactly 14 seconds. And that's it. That's it. 14 seconds, man. 14. We go to some full team stats here. So, full team stats wise, Texas A&M third down efficiency 9 of 14. Mississippi State third down efficiency 5 of 16. However, Mississippi State went for it on 4th down 7 times, only converted 3. That says a lot for this defense and where they want to be at going the rest of the season. They're clearly sending a statement out and saying, it's your third down offense against our third down defense. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. That's good. That's going to determine a lot of ball games. Penalties in this game. A&M hit their game average, which is 7 penalties a game. I do not like this. I don't like A&M getting 7 penalties a game. Because what's happening is that these penalties rack up yards, man. They do. They really, really rack up yards. So they got 7 penalties, 69 yards. One of those runs by Le'Veon Moss, which was like a 40-yard run, by the way, it got called back. It absolutely got called back because of a hole in the backfield. Mississippi State had 8 penalties for 78 yards. None of these teams look good. Penalty-wise, none of them look good. None of them had a good day penalty-wise at all. Right? They just absolutely did. Turnovers, like I say, A&M had 2, which is 2 interceptions thrown. And Mississippi State had 1. Right? Who knows where this game could have gone if it was just a clean game from both of these teams. If it was a clean game from Texas A&M, I honestly believe that they probably would have scored 48 points, and Mississippi State probably would have scored about 31. So that ball game would have probably been 48-31 easily. No turnovers. None. I honestly believe that. But due to 2 turnovers, it limited the game to 34-24, right? In which is, like I say, man, that's damn good on the road. You were 6 points away from 40. You were 7 points away from hitting the same score in which you put up on last game, which was 41. That would have been phenomenal because you would have had back-to-back games and where there were 41 points scored by this offense. That's all that I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So that's it for Texas A&M and Mississippi State. You know, and now we move along to the game of all games, in which is next week. And that's going to, in my mind, determine who's going to have a chance to get to the SEC championship. I believe this game will solely depend on these 2 teams showing up to the party and laying it all on the line. Because as of right now, A&M is 4-0 in the SEC. LSU is 3-0 in the SEC. So what does that mean? That means LSU and Texas A&M are about to have themselves a ball game. This is the game. This is the game that we've been waiting on all season, right? This is what we've been waiting on for 12 freaking years. Can we have enough firepower to get to a game where it may determine the outcome of the season? This is what we've been waiting on since 2012, man. 2012. That's a long goddamn time. This is what we've been waiting on. Can Texas A&M finally get over that hump, in which is beating an elite offensive team, which is LSU, by the way, and beating a blue blood of the SEC, which is LSU. LSU is a blue blood of the SEC. Georgia's a blue blood of the SEC, Florida, and Alabama. Can Texas A&M finally take down one of the blue blood teams that has a recent national championship, by the way, regardless of how the way people want to look at this? And can they legitimately take them down for solely first place in a division? Can they do that against a good LSU team? The last time we won against a good LSU team was in 2022. And they came in there number 5, but Texas A&M had already lost 4 games. They weren't bowl eligible anymore. And they won that game, went 5-7. So did it mean a whole lot for A&M? It did, going forward into the next season. But this time around, it means a whole lot more. Can you go out there and win in one of the biggest moments in Texas A&M history of being in the SEC, man? This is the game. This is the game. This is what you pay coaches for, to be in these type of ball games. This is why you go out and you recruit the 5 stars of the world, which is Connor, the 4 stars of the world, which is Noah Thomas, Bryce Anderson, which is the 5 stars, Shamar Turner, Shamar Stewart, Nick Scorton, the 4 stars of the world. This is why you go out and you get all this damn talent. So you can end up in games like this and you can see, where is it going to pan out? Did I coach these guys right or did I not? Did these guys lay it on the line or did they not? Both teams are going to come in here with expectations and aspirations on their damn mind of, hey man, we want to be the team that's in the SEC championship. We want to be that team. Who wants it more is all the time what I'm going to point out there, right? I'm going to always point that out. Who wants it more? Texas A&M or LSU? So that's why I say, man, that LSU and Texas A&M shit, that started after we beat Mississippi State on Saturday. That evening, right after the game went off, A&M versus LSU, that started already. No, come on. We won it because we've been waiting on it. We've been waiting on a very good Texas A&M team to face LSU, and now we get our shot. Texas A&M is 6-1. LSU is 6-1. This is for all the marbles. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be LSU or is it going to be Texas A&M? Connor Wigman gets his shot once again, and I'm going to say this once again. Texas A&M, Connor Wigman gets his shot at another primetime freaking game on ABC at 6:30. You get your chance to right your wrongs again. You didn't win against Notre Dame. That's fine. Cool. We already got that out the way. Everybody held that against you. What will you do against LSU? I'm going to say this once again. What will you do against LSU? From my understanding, this is an even matchup. Defense versus the offense. This is a pretty even matchup. Offensively, no, we don't match up with LSU's offense. But offense versus defense, we match up with LSU perfectly. And I'm going to say that perfectly. I understand LSU defense is getting better. I do. The thing that I'm worried about in this game is the line of scrimmage. Who's going to bring it? Who's going to bring it? I'm going to take my defensive line over LSU's defensive line any day because Texas A&M defensive line has proved just a little bit more to me than what LSU has. Right? They have proved more. However, this is what people don't know. Both of these teams lost the first game of the season, and that was it. Both of these teams have had those games held over their heads for the entire freaking season. For the entire season, they have held that first game over both of these teams' head. This is going to be the showdown, right? We watched Texas versus Georgia last weekend, 6:30 p.m. Now we're about to watch LSU versus Texas A&M, 6:30 p.m. Who's going to win that battle? In my mind, it's going to be Texas A&M that wins this battle. If Texas A&M goes up 10-0 in the first quarter, give me A&M to possibly put LSU on its heels all night long. But if LSU goes up 10-0 in the first quarter, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going. Well, I'm not going to say I don't know. LSU can absolutely win this ball game, hands down. Hands down. If it's 7-7 in the first quarter, that's going to be a very decisive game because you just don't know. That shit is going to come down to the last field goal or something. Connor beat them at home 2 years ago. I'm going to say it again. Connor beat them at home 2 years ago. LSU remembers that. It's a lot of guys that's still on that LSU team. They remember Connor beating them. They remember Connor giving them that ass whooping, in which it was 38-22. They remember. People, they remember. Connor remembers beating their asses too. It was with a whole different offensive scheme. And at that point, Connor didn't have nothing to lose. This time around, Connor has every bit of every fucking thing to lose. Excuse my language, but he has every bit of fucking thing to lose. He has a chance to lose probably his starting spot, in which I will say I'm going to throw that up now. Connor has a chance to lose his starting role. You have to really show me what you got in this game, because he does have a chance to lose. Connor also has a chance to lose conference, the number one spot in the conference, in which this is what Connor came to A&M for. This is what Bryce came to A&M for. This is what Will Lee came over for. This is what Nick Scorton came for. Noah, all them offensive linemen. Chase Basantis, he came back out of the transfer. This is what these guys came back for, man. They came back to play in games like this. Lay it on the line. As of right now, like I say, the team that I'm picking is Texas A&M. I'd already said it anyways, in which I'm solely picking Texas A&M to win the rest of their ball games going forward throughout the season, in which can absolutely happen. Is that pressure on Mike Elko? It is. There's also pressure on Brian Kelly, because Brian Kelly has been alone. However, Brian Kelly hadn't been good at Kyle Field. And this time around, he's finna get Kyle Field being the real Kyle Field. Last time he got them when they was 5-7. Well, 4-7. In which fans still showed up. This time around, no, you finna get a sold-out freaking game here, dude. No, this shit is about to have 105 people in those stands. Yeah, Notre Dame got it, and they walked out of here with a win before anybody comes to say anything. They walked out of here with a win. That's cool. This time around, it ain't about to be an empty seat in the damn stadium. And everybody's about to have on all black. I'm going to go and get my black shirt. Hopefully they got one in the academy when I go. I'm going to get mine on Thursday. But this is about to be the all black crowd. And I'm going to be honest, man. 12th man is going to help Texas A&M win this ball game. And 12th man is going to help Texas A&M push themselves up to a 10-0 lead in that first quarter. I highly believe in that. LSU knows this. LSU knows if they go down 10-0, they're not going to get scared by all means. LSU will not be scared at all. LSU is going to play their asses off. Garrett Nesmeyer has only been sacked twice all season, and that's because he eludes sacks. Some of them have been questionable calls against him. I do honestly think that. But he's only been sacked twice. You got to give it to him. He hadn't been sacked long. Then again, I just don't know if he's faced a defensive line like Texas A&M's. And then he's coming into Kyle Field. Kyle Field will be rocking, man. They're going to be absolutely rocking. This is prime time. Game day didn't want to come back because I know the game they're waiting on. They're waiting for Texas A&M to play Texas. I already know this already. But they should have came back for this game. This game should have absolutely been college game day. But they didn't. They didn't come back. They're going out there to Indiana. Shout out to them. They get their college game day. And it is what it is. SEC Network didn't even want to show up to this game. And that's mainly because they've been here already for the Mizzou game. They're leaving. They're going on the road to Alabama versus Mizzou, in which I'm gonna go ahead and say Alabama wins that game. But man, this game is going to be absolutely insane. So I told you where Texas A&M red zone offense is, and LSU's red zone offense is, which is crazy to me. But LSU's offense, LSU's red zone offense is, where is that? No, they're not that far behind. I know for sure the LSU offense isn't this far behind. Then again, they may be because Arkansas red zone offense is way far behind. Where are you at, LSU? For whatever reason, I don't see LSU at all red zone offensively. I know they're in here. LSU red zone offense is number 66 in the country. That's crazy to me, knowing that LSU has been scoring in bunches, right? They have. They've been scoring in bunches. However, scoring offense-wise, right? And this is where LSU is gonna, this is where LSU naturally is gonna beat us at, in which is scoring offense. LSU scoring offense is number 29 in the country. Texas A&M scoring offense is number 46. That's why I say, man, look, this game is even, but then again, it's not even in some cases, right? Who has the better defense in this game is absolutely Texas A&M. Absolutely. However, Texas A&M has to show up to the party. Red zone defense, though, LSU is number 19 in the country. Red zone defense for Texas A&M, they are number, where are you at, Texas A&M? They are number 93 in the country with red zone defense. Right? This game. And rushing offense, in which, man, I'm gonna tell you right now. So this is Mike Elko for me, and this is where he stands at. Yeah, it's just still the first season, but what I'm visioning with Mike Elko, and I say this about Jimbo, but I said Jimbo could have been R.C. Slocum mixed with Bobby Bout, and just Jimbo fishing himself. He could have been three people in one if he just would have got his head out of his ass and done what he needed to do with those rosters that he accumulated, in which his talent is concerned. But Jimbo didn't get out his own damn way. With Mike Elko isn't in the way of any freaking thing. Mike Elko has a chance to be an updated R.C. Slocum because he loves his defense. But an updated R.C. Slocum loves everything he has an offense. Put it like that. With R.C. Slocum, he had an offense, but it was catered around running the football. And it was smash mouth football and defensive efficiency. With Mike Elko, what we're witnessing is an updated version of R.C. Slocum where it's still smash mouth football, but he's going to throw the ball as well. He wants to generate touchdowns, and he's going to throw the ball and get downfield. I think that recipe is dangerous for Texas A&M because this is who we really are. We're a team in which Texas A&M has this history. We're a team that can absolutely go to the highest of heights if we just be ourselves, which is run the football, blue collar, get in there, smash mouth, let people know that we're coming, and we absolutely going on about our business. I didn't witness it, but R.C. Slocum had 4 Southwestern Conference doing what I just told you. Mike Elko has the chance to do the same exact thing. He can be a dog in the SEC and absolutely run it for 4 years or however many years he wants to if he just has everything clicking and everything just stays intact, right? That's insane to say this early in his tenure, but I can see that in him because he's very, very smart about what he's doing and how the way he wants to do. And he's having that football team act the same way. So rushing offense, Texas A&M is number 13 in the country. LSU, and this is what's going to get LSU because we're going to make them pass that football. And we're going to put them in situations where they feel like, well, dang, man, I thought I could run the football, but it's like, damn, I really can run the football. LSU is number 96 in the country with running the football. Yeah, I understand they have found and I didn't. Well, they found some run game. I do understand that part. But rushing defense wise, right? So rushing defense wise, Texas A&M is number 36 in the country. LSU is number 33. LSU is only number 33 in the country because they are like, what is that? 10-yard. They've given up 8 yards lesser than Texas A&M. That's it. That is completely it. That's it. Which makes them number 33, which is a good defense, by the way. So they have a good defensive line. We have a good offensive line. A&M has a good defensive line, has a good offensive line. It's going to matter, man, to which line shows up for both of these teams. If A&M already has about 3 sacks in the first half, that lets you know that, hey, we finally got into LSU's head. If A&M has 0 sacks in the first half, they're going to keep this ball game very, very damn close. LSU. But if A&M has 3 sacks in this game, first half already, there's no doubt in my mind A&M can go up 17-7 or 17-3. If they don't, this game is going to be like 17-14, 14-14 or something like that. Second half, if A&M puts up 3 sacks again, I'm gonna say A&M runs away with this ball game completely. If they don't, LSU will storm back, and LSU is gonna make this ball game. I'm telling you what I know. They're gonna make this ball game. So, guys, that is it. That's all I have for you on tonight. I've been rumbling for about an hour straight. Please make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast and make sure you hit that like button. I love all of you guys, and hey, once again, #GigaMaggis. I will be back on tomorrow. Thank you.